Good morning. Welcome back to Sarah's Joyful Journey. I'm Sarah Joy, and this is episode 50 of Tea Tuesday, our second one that is live. I am so glad to be here this morning. This morning, we are going to be using Darjeeling for our tea. This is Twinings. This is one of my favorites. The thing with Darjeeling is I always drink it with cream in it. And I didn't want to open a new bag of keto brains this morning because I'm going to be doing something special in April. So it's not going to be in my repertoire in April. So I'm using up some cream that I have. So I'm using my Royal Albert Rose Confetti Tea for One. And I put in here my salted caramel Chobani Zero Sugar. It is really, really good. And it's perfect because this morning I am just feeling tired and I just don't want to get up and move. And this is a nice way to gently wake up before we start the day. If you're new here, welcome. And I hope you enjoy your time and say hi down below. And just let me give you a little bit of an overview of what we do here on Tea Tuesdays. So Tea Tuesdays is where I sit down with you guys and I share all that is going on in my life with my health journey, how work's going, how school's going, what I'm reading, any upcoming health goals that I'm working on, acknowledging my previous goals from the last week, what I'm knitting, things like this. This is kind of sort of like the anything goes type broadcast. So I will just get into it. And then if you have comments or questions, go ahead and you can leave those in the live chat and I will address them as I can. So let's get started on how the past week has been. It's been a great week. Lots of things going on. Last week we went to Flower and Garden. We had so much fun. It was a great time. I was actually honestly shocked that we found as many keto-friendly dishes as we did. I found 6. Normally I'm lucky if I can find 1 or 2. And I found 6. And I tried new foods. It was just a wonderful time to just go out and enjoy. We rode one ride and one ride only because it was insanely busy. Matt's goal was he wanted to ride Guardians, which I don't blame him. It's our favorite ride. But there was just so many people. I just didn't want to stand in any other lines if I could avoid it. So we just kind of just enjoyed seeing all the topiaries and all the plants, which is my favorite part of Flower and Garden anyway. And there is a little vlog that is now available. If you haven't seen it, you should go check it out. I just tried something new with the style of editing that I did, and I would love your feedback on it to see what you think. Work has been work, which is good. I mean, it's not a bad thing. I did have the realization this week that I am one of those people who, once I set my mind on a goal, I kind of start checking out on other things. So it hit me this week that while I do like my job and I do like the people I work with, this job feels very temporary. Like when I was working at Disney, I was making plans to stay at Disney for the long haul. Things changed, of course, and just went down a different path. Not upset about that different path at all. It's actually working out to help me create the life that I really want to live. So I do enjoy that part of it. But my job just this week, it hit me. I'm like, wow, this job is temporary. Because it's not what I want. And that's not a bad thing. It's a job that I need. It's a job that I enjoy right now for the most part, but it's also going to be a job once I get to the point where I no longer have to be there, that I will be very happy as well, because it's going to signal that transitional period that I'm making that big shift. We've either moved to a new city and I'm looking for a new job, hopefully at that time. If I need a new job, it will be part-time, or it means that I have successfully launched my business and I am able to coach enough people regularly enough that I don't need to have a day job, and coaching could be my only job along with YouTube, of course. And that would be fantastic. I realized that I really just want to be working for myself. That's going to help me achieve all my goals for my life, and that includes my health, that includes my mental health, it just creating the life that I envision. And it does take work and dedication and time and patience. So much patience. School. School has been good. Um, Getting closer to wrapping up and getting things done. I have a lot to do this week because last week I just didn't have as much energy, and I just was wanting to work on my stress to see if I lessened a little bit there, if my stress would further reduce. And it did. So that tells me one, school is adding some pressure, which I knew. And now I have to try to work a little bit better about balancing school and balancing stress. Last week, I set the goal that I was going to walk 5 days last week. I think I did it. I think I did it. If we start the week on Monday, I walked Monday, I walked Tuesday. I did not walk Wednesday. I walked Thursday. I did not walk Friday, but I walked Saturday and Sunday. So I got all 5 days. And this week, if we start on Sunday, I walked on Sunday. I did not walk yesterday. Today, I absolutely 100% have to go for a walk. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I will probably do it shortly after we are done here. I think I'm going to go for a hike at the state park. I haven't decided if I want to go by myself or if I actually want to bring the dog with me. Um, we'll see. It depends on time because I do have a practice coaching call with a friend that I have to be present for. And I also have homework to do. So it might end up just being a quick 20-minute walk with Ghost right outside. And that's fine. It's better than zero walks. So my goal is to this week try to walk 4 times minimum. 5 times would be better. And if I'm feeling up to it, I'm going to add a day of strength training. That's a bonus. That's a very, very soft goal. I don't think that I don't feel confident enough at where I'm at right now to state that I absolutely 100% can get in that strength training session, but it is something that I want to work towards. So being conscious of it and being mindful that that is a goal that I have will be beneficial. But the goal again for this week is pretty much just keep moving and trying to get my steps to be around 7,000 a day minimum. And that's every day, whether I go for a structured walk or not. I'm trying to remember to get up from my desk and walk around more. I found a longer way to the bathroom, but it involves going outside, which actually kind of like helps with two things because I'm getting outside, I'm getting fresh air, I'm getting a little bit of daylight. It's usually quieter. I don't have to deal with as many people typically. There's nobody outside. And I just walk out from our office building and down and outside. So it's a nice little mental break on the way to the bathroom. And I'm focusing on staying hydrated because I'm really bad about that working in an office. I was very good at staying hydrated when I was at Disney because it was hot and there was those other cues to remind you like, hey, get something to drink. When you're in an office and you're comfortable, you don't have the same cues to remember to drink. And it's so easy for me just to get into my work and before I've known it, I have gone like hours without any water of any kind. So by remembering to stay hydrated, it gives me the benefit of I get to get up and go to the restroom a few more times than I normally would. And that's not a bad thing. It's going to, like I said, it's going to allow me that mental break. It's going to allow me to get in extra steps and things like that. All right. Well, that is pretty much how goal session has gone for me this past week. I'm still tired this morning. I did not want to get out of bed. I definitely wanted sleep. Sleep has been better the past week since I've started walking, which is good, but I'm still not getting enough. So I have some more tweaking in that area to do. But I'm very, very happy so far with how sleep is going. And this tea is just so good and exactly what I want to be drinking this morning. Health coaching. I am just about done. I submitted my last assignment for one class. Once it gets approved, I just have an exam to do in that class, and then I can move on to my final class in my master's health coaching program. So that's super exciting. And I am just over 50% of the way done with my ACE course. So at this point, I am like, I'm closing in on like 75% done. I'm not quite there. It's probably about 60 to 70% where I'm actually done with my coaching program. So it's very, very nice to know that I am so close to my goal. I have other goals right behind it that I need to be working on, to get ready to actually launch my coaching business, like making sure that I have the platforms that I need, making sure I have my website updated. Is my website even going to be able to be updated? That's my goal, is to put the coaching on my website that I already have, because it would just be convenient and easy and economical, because I'm already paid for it and I don't necessarily want to have to pay for two. But if I have to pay for two, I have to pay for two. But so much to think about and go into and dive into. And I'm really, really excited. I do have several clients lined up to help me get to my 50 hours or 50 coaching sessions. It's not hours, it's coaching sessions, to be able to sit for the national boards. And then I can register for that at the end of the year, hopefully. And I will be able to take the boards in the spring. It's going to be a lot, but I'm super excited. I have so much reading that I want to do and just cannot wait to dive in and start practicing. And I am going to be doing a practicum in my advanced coaching class. And today I'm meeting with a friend who agreed to help with me, be my example client, so that we can record it and I can submit it. But today we're just doing a practice session. One, because I think a practice session is going to be very beneficial to me. Plus, it's going to be beneficial to her because she's kind of going to get the flow, so that when we actually sit down and do the session will flow more naturally. At least that's my hope. So I'm excited about that. Plus, yesterday was our live class. I missed a good chunk of it because my mom called and I was talking to her. So I have to go rewatch it, which is fine. I was present for the whole class, so it counts, but I missed most of the material. So I need to go back for me. But anyway, at the end, one of the students gave us a AI type tool that we can use that can actually help us practice. So I want to check that out today. It's called Sesame, I believe. And it's two people that you can have a call with and you can talk to, and you can give them prompts and they can interact with you. And each call can be like 15 minutes. So that's something that I'm probably going to work on figuring out today, so that I can start doing maybe once a day or twice if I can find the time, but once a day, do a practice call with them, because it's going to be a little bit more natural. Yes, they'll learn and things like that, but it'll give me the experience of, I don't know what they're necessarily going to say. And that's fine, because when we practice in class, we kind of know what everybody's going to say, not necessarily exactly what they're going to say when we do our practice sessions, but we're all practicing health coaches at this point, and we all know the flow. So one thing that I've noticed is sometimes we can almost kind of like guide the situation a little bit more. Like, we know what's going to be expected, so we know how to answer questions. And it's good because it gives us practice talking to each other and asking questions and things like that. But we can get to solutions probably a little bit faster. And I want to do the AI tool just to see what it's like and see if I just get more experience. And then, of course, once I get done, I have my clients lined up for my 50 sessions, and that will also help. Let's go ahead and let me refill my tea one more time, because I am enjoying it and I'm losing my voice because it's allergy season as well. And tea definitely helps with that. And I love that this teacup kind of matches the background. It's really, really awesome. So I am excited about it. Good morning, Mia. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. How are you doing this morning? All right. So we're going to do things a little bit differently. Normally at this point, I do books, but I have something that I just want to show off to you guys because I finished my sweater and I've worn it and I set it on the floor. So there's some dog hair. So I'm just getting dog hair. And even if I vacuum and all that kind of stuff, there's always just dog hair. This is the side of having two giant fluffy dogs. But anyway, I finished my sweater. So there it is. I will show you a better one in just a second. I'm going to show you the back. There's some things that I wish I would have changed with this. Like I really wish that I would have made it longer. It's a more of a cropped sweater. But there's the sweater. And it fits beautifully and perfectly. And as you can see, it's striped. So that is what is considered a happy dye accident. I was not anticipating that it would be there. I knew there would be some color variation because I had the two different dye lots. And it's funny because the first dye lot ended right here under the arm. So it's weird. And I think it's just because what they do with a lot of commercial wool is it's a lot of different sheep. It's not all one sheep. Thank you, Mia. I think it's beautiful too. I'm so happy ultimately how it came out. Of course, there's always things that I wish were different, but yeah. So I put it in the dye and we were going to dye it in a pot and I didn't have a pot. The pot my daughter had bought to dye her stuff in was too big for the stovetop. So I couldn't do it on the stovetop. And then I didn't know if it was oven safe, so I didn't want to put it in the oven. So I sent Matt to the grocery store and he got a big roasting pan and we did it in the oven. I followed the recommendation for the amount of dye to use and it was way, way too much. But I did decide on the navy blue because that's what I originally was thinking when I started this. I do still want to do a spruce green one. And I definitely have the confidence to do that again at some point. But yeah, so I put it in and when I pulled it out and I said, it's striped, I was blown away. That was not intentional at all. I had no idea that was going to happen. And that's kind of something when you're playing around with dye and wool and yarn, you have to be willing to accept things that they just happen. And it's a little you can see the variations in the dye too, like in the sleeves. There's parts where it took darker, so it's got like a mottled effect on it as well. But it turned out lovely and I wore it one day and I'll go ahead and I'll put it on so you can see. And I changed the buttons. And I changed the buttons because I realized I didn't do a very good job at lining up my buttonholes. I was not counting the rows, I was just estimating the rows. So I went ahead and I used the mother of pearl buttons. And half of these buttons are kind of sort of dummy buttons. They're all real buttons, but they don't have buttonholes that line up. But that was okay because I knew that for the most part, I wasn't going to be using the buttons and it's just for the visual appearance of having the buttons. But it does fit well-ish. I think a lot of the problems that I have with the pattern were the pattern itself. It's just I would have picked better shaping techniques than this one. And that is, it's too big right here, but it fits everywhere else. And it's kind of sort of too big around the collar a little bit, but still doable, still usable. I wore it the other day to work and absolutely loved it. It was perfect for the office. So since it is 100% wool, I was worried that I would be too hot. And it wasn't. It was just enough, just enough. So I'm going to get it folded back up and I'll put it up on the bed. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed that. But I did start on sweater number 2. Let me get the pattern pulled up. And this is for the Bubble Adult Tee. And this is what it's going to be. And I was originally thinking that I wouldn't do the sleeves but I kind of like the way the sleeves are. I was going to change the texture, but it's actually going to work out really good. It's going to be enough that I have to pay attention a little bit, but not too bad. And then I am using this yarn. It's a gradient. It's kind of blown out right now and it's showing super, super light, but it's a very light lavender. It's got some pink and blue and purple. And you'll start to see it better when you see the actual sweater coming together, which is like hardly anything at this point, but it started. But there it is. This one's going to be a pullover. So I think it'll go really, really well. Um, I'm being brave and I'm knitting this down a size. I think it's a size that's going to work well for me. Because they say this should be worn with 0 ease to like 3 inches of positive ease. And one thing that I've noticed is if I knit a sweater to my actual bust measurements, which I'm a busty girl, it doesn't fit very well right here. And I think that's part of what went wrong there is in my last one is I knitted it more to my actual measurements. And I probably should have gone a size down there because I want it to fit better across the top. So that is my goal with this one. And if it doesn't end up fitting right now, it's fine. I can either donate it or hopefully I will continue on with my weight loss goals and be able to wear it eventually. The other constraint was they only had 4 skeins of yarn. So I kind of had to pick something that would be as close to my actual size and still have enough yarn. Like the one that I would have knit for me that I think would have fit really well, hopefully, I needed an extra skinny yarn and I just didn't have it. So making do with the fact that they didn't have any other yarn and I was limited on that. But I'm really excited with how that one is turning out. It's beautiful. The colors are perfect. I cannot wait to see it. It's going to be the front part of the sweater is going to take a little bit more thought when I get to the sleeves, but I just knit it. It's like a 12-row repeat. And the second half is the same as the first half. So if you really think about it, it's only technically a 6-row repeat. So I just sit down every time that I can do 5 rounds. And once I get the sleeves done, it will just be knitting in the round and it'll go really, really quickly. Books. I did forget one of them. Oh, well, it is what it is. All right. Book club meeting is going to be next Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be posting the Zoom link soon in the Facebook group. So if you read our March book, which is Work in Progress by Kate McKenzie, and you want to get together and chat and share your thoughts about it, or if you just want to come and see me talk about what I thought of this book, that would be the place to do it. So you'll have to join the Facebook group. It's no cost there. There's going to be no cost to do the Zoom. We're just going to get together, hang out, and talk about this book. But I did finish Work in Progress. And I really, really, really enjoyed this book. I'm not going to go into too much detail because we're going to go over it in the book club. And I want to save a lot of my thoughts for that. But it was funny because I made my plan last week to really read Saturday and Sunday, and I wanted to get this book done. I brought the book with me on Saturday to work, and then I left the book at work on Saturday. So I had to download the book on Audible, which is fine because I had a credit, so I didn't have a credit. Whatever. I ended up buying it on Audible and listened to it, which worked out really, really good because I was able to take Ghost on a walk and we were able just to get it listened to and walk and enjoy. And I really had so much fun. There were so many scenes in here that just had me laughing out loud. And I just kind of loved everything about the book. I don't know that I would rate it a 5-star book. I don't think it was quite there, but it was really, really, really close at points. And as I spend the next couple of days thinking on it, my review might change. But if you like a good rom-com that's not too spicy, this is a good one for you. All right. Then April's book. The winner for that is going to be Ward D by Frida McFadden. I will try to remember to take a picture of that. I left it on the counter over there. I meant to grab it and I didn't because I'm still tired this morning and I am not quite awake because I haven't quite finished my caffeine, which I am almost done with. I do have 2 new books this week, and I will definitely have one book next week because there's another book that's releasing this week. But I got the next book in the what is this series called? The Sparrow Falls series. It came out. So this is Beautiful Exile, and it's got the teal ones. I might start book 1 later today. I'm kind of toying between this one and another one because I definitely want to have a book going, and we've got a week before we start on April's book, and I don't want to start on that one right away. I'm going to wait. So yeah, I got Beautiful Exiles, so might be starting book 1. We'll see. We'll have to wait till next week, I guess, when I make my decision. And then I bought book 3 of this a couple weeks ago and realized it was book 3 and not book 2, and that I needed book 2. So I bought book 2 and the Wild Eyes, which is Wild Eyes, and this is the Rose Hill series. I might start book 1 of this one. It is definitely going to be down to these 2 series. I know my friend Hope has been reading a lot of Elsie Silver recently, and she's really loving her writing style. So I am wanting to dive in. I now have all of this series. I do not have all of Flawless yet, but that's okay. So I kind of want to start with this because it can go in the background. But that is books and reading. Pretty much how my week has been going. Tomorrow, we are going to have a live stream tomorrow night at 7 p.m. So I hope that you will join us. If you haven't seen last week's live, you might want to go watch it and watch it all the way through because there is a special surprise in the middle of that session. And yeah, and it's going to tie in with this week's live as well. I don't want to give too much away, but if you leave a comment, you could win something. If you're in the continental US, of course. Or if you have a P.O. box and you're in Canada, I can ship it too. I wish I could ship internationally. I can't really afford it. And not only that, there's different rules about giveaways in other countries. So for safety's sake, we're going to keep it into the continental US. Then I have a fantastic recipe planned for this week. I was going to do another recipe video last night. I cooked the dinner, but I was too tired to actually record it. So I have a super fast one that we're going to record and will be out later this week. My goal is to have 2 lives every week and at least 2 other videos. Hopefully, I will be able to sustain that. It'll get easier once schooling's done. I hear you, Mia. I am so far behind on all my videos. It's not even funny. I will have to be playing catch up soon. I catch maybe 1 or 2 a week, and I have to pick and choose of who I'm watching. And it really just kind of depends on what pops up on my feed when I have a few minutes to sit down and actually watch TV. But it'll get better. And I am excited to catch up for that when I can. All right. I am working hard on changing some styles a little bit with my editing to make my videos be a little bit more fun and engaging. That's my hopes and my dreams for moving forward. All right. Well, we've been chatting for about 30 minutes, which is wonderful. Let me know in the comments if you like this 7:30 live time. I'm thinking it's working well, and it's going to work well into April with the exception of one Tuesday, which it still might work, but I've got to write out my schedule and actually visualize it. She gave me my schedule, and I have Easter Sunday and Monday off instead of Monday, Tuesday. But for April, I still have Monday, Tuesdays off. So it's working out really, really well to do this as a live stream, and I love that I don't have to edit it, which is also very time savings. All right. Well, again, I've rambled on long enough, and I will see you guys tomorrow night with another special surprise, and we'll get it. So it is pretty early for you, Mia. Yeah, I wish I could do it a little bit later. I'll look at things and I might try to push it a little bit later. We're going to see what that actually looks like for me this for April. And if I have to leverage a recorded episode here and there, that is fine with me. But I really am enjoying the lives and getting the opportunity to chat with you guys live so you guys can interact with me directly too. All right. Well, I hope you all create the path that you want to live, find joy in the journey, and have a wonderful and joyful day. And we'll chat again soon. Bye for now.